What's going on, y'all? It's JD Piquel. Today on the Hard Count, it is finally here. The Big 12 is expanding, and we're going to talk about it. Welcome into 365 Sports, the YouTube channel that has you covered for everything college sports, especially college football, which is now obviously the greatest time of year. We want you along for this ride, so go ahead and subscribe. Tell a friend to subscribe. Y'all can both be subscribed together and talk about all the cool stuff that we're talking about. Contribute to the conversation and help us figure out what we're going to talk about, because that's what we do here at the Hard Count. Want to create the content that you want to see and keep you involved in the conversation, because this is together a community and something that we're all involved in, something that we're all building together. So appreciate you joining along. Please subscribe to continue joining along. Houston, Cincinnati, BYU, UCF are all more or less, at the time of this recording, a done deal to the Big 12. And this is something that has been a long time coming. Obviously, the Big 12, when Oklahoma and Texas left, were in the market for teams. There was a subcommittee formed that was going towards expansion when the Pac-12 said, nah, we're cool sticking with what we have here, and that merger kind of fell through. So these four schools are more or less a done deal. They have applied for membership. It's assumed that they will be approved as of Friday, I think it is. It's going to be when they get announced that, okay, hey, application went through, you're all good, you're a part of the Big 12. Probably won't join the conference till 2023, so take that as you will. I really think that the Big 12 got it right. Like, I was the guy on the front line saying, don't merge with the AAC. I want to see the Pac-12 be a part of the Big 12. I want to see that kind of super conference, take back power kind of thing from the SEC. But I'm okay with what they got here, and here's why. This is going to be great for viewership. Like, as a brand, this is phenomenal. BYU is one of the largest living alumni. I think if they were to join the conference today, the only alumni base that would be larger than them is Texas. And then UCF, Cincinnati, who else? Houston are all great markets. UCF has the largest enrollment of any school. You know how many schools there are? How many schools exist in America? And for UCF to have the largest enrollment is a huge, huge bullet to have in your chamber if you're the Big 12. And then Houston and Cincinnati are just great markets. Houston, the number one TV market. Cincinnati, a market that's growing. Luke Fickell, in terms of the on-field product, is going to make Cincinnati a power, I believe, for years to come. Cincinnati was kind of already in this Power 5 conference situation before being bounced to the AAC, but bottom line, I am a fan of what we're going to see here from a dollars and cents standpoint. It's going to be estimated around $25 million. That remains to be seen how concrete that is, but that's around what we're assuming it's going to be, which is a pretty nice number if you're the Big 12. In addition to the viewership and the numbers and the money, that's all going to make sense, which we're all excited about for the Big 12. Don't get me wrong. The on-field product is going to be extremely competitive. You have UCF, who has been really knocking on the door of a Power 5 conference for a minute here, has been, I mean, depending on who you ask, they have a national championship. Scott Frost would say they have a national championship. Mackenzie Milton would say they have a national championship. Some other schools might disagree with that narrative. BYU has been relevant as an independent program in a school where there is a handbook that makes it a lot less attractive to come to that school, if that makes sense. So now you're arming them with the firepower of, hey, we're not independent. We're a Power 5 conference. We're in the Big 12. You want to come play for us? The fact they've been able to recruit already with the different stipulations you have at a school like BYU is impressive. You just add more fuel to that fire. You give them more firepower. They're going to be a good program, even better program than they have been. They've been good for a minute. They're going to be better in the years to come. And then Cincinnati and Houston. Cincinnati obviously winning a New Year's Six Bowl last year. Houston doing against Florida State, and I think it was 2016. Of the last 6 years, these 3 AAC teams have a combined 4 wins in New Year's Six Bowls. So UCF is undefeated. They're 2-0. Cincinnati was really like a field goal away from beating Georgia. And then Houston, obviously, like I said, winning the Chick-fil-A Bowl. This is competitive football. They didn't just take any old slouch team from the AAC because it made sense financially. They picked good on-field product teams. And so the competitive environment in the Big 12 is not taking a step back. If anything, I think it's taking a step forward because of what these teams are going to bring to the table. I think UCF steps into the mix right away, and I think they're probably in the upper middle tier, maybe even in that upper 3-ish teams, 3 or 4 teams, maybe get ahead of myself. Don't hold me to that. But UCF is going to be competitive, especially, again, with the branding of the Big 12, what they can do now in the state of Florida. To be able to recruit the state of Florida as a Power 5 school It's going to give them, I think, a little bit more of an edge that they didn't have before. Now they're going to be able to go toe-to-toe more so with schools like Florida, like Florida State. I'm not saying they're going to steal those recruits. I'm not saying that it's going to be just UCF by a landslide, but you gave the little guy more ammunition to try and beat you. Simple as that. The big picture, the biggest reason why I think that the Big 12 got it right adding the AAC is the metaphor that I keep going back to is stocks. All four of these programs, with the investment of the Big 12 into them, are going to be worth more 5 years from now than they are today. Because I truly believe these products that are going to be on the field, and again, the financial sense that they already make, the Big 12 is only going to bolster that. So you're getting in on the ground floor of these smaller stocks that are only going to grow exponentially over the years. And so this was a brilliant move by the Big 12. One thing that I feel like I need to address is, again, what I said at the beginning of the video. I didn't want to see the AAC merger with the Big 12. The reason behind that being, if you show me who your friends are, I'll show you who you are. And so the Big 12 merged with the AAC. That's 11 AAC schools and 8 Big 12 schools. That is no longer the Big 12's conference. That is the AAC with the side of Big 12 schools in there, which I think would have had a negative impact, all things considered, as a whole conglomerate on the Big 12. The fact that you were able to handpick some schools that are already competitive in a great market, are going to be adding from an on-field perspective to your conference and make for a lot of really exciting games in the future, I believe, is just an all-around win for the Big 12 and truthfully for some of those AAC teams. So that's it for us here at The Hard Count. Again, like the video, subscribe to the channel. We're going to be following this story as it moves forward. I believe there's going to be a second round of expansion of realignment, as it seems like 16 is kind of the number to get to. But bottom line, the Big 12 got it right. UCF, Cincinnati, Houston, BYU, welcome to the Big 12. We will keep this party rolling, and we will see y'all next time.